K-pop Demon Hunters was trending in the top 10 movies worldwide for 6 whole weeks since it premiered. And sure, with all that success, a sequel is to be expected, right? Netflix and the movie directors gave some hints about what's coming, and I'm gonna tell you right now. Hey beautiful people, I'm Julie, and so far in August 2025, Netflix and Sony Pictures Animation didn't reveal anything about any sequel, but Netflix has been posting stuff on their social media about the movie, both in their global account and in the other countries. We can see that she's trying to captivate people, convincing them to watch the movie and seeing if the idea of a new movie works or not. It's a strategy, okay? Sure that sometimes companies make sequel that no one asked for, but that isn't the case, right? Everyone's expecting a sequel. According to an article by The Wrap, Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos publicly commented the movie's success in a teleconference in June. He said, "The fact that people are in love with this movie and its songs will keep it trending for a long time." And he finished it by saying, "The question is, where are we going from here?" And guys, it's the second man in command of Netflix speaking. It isn't some random dude. It's almost impossible to not be excited from that. So, like this video if that gave you hope. In the same article, we have the confirmation that yes, Netflix is working on the expansion for K-pop Demon Hunters into a franchise. According to them, Netflix is considering many options, including 2 animated sequels, which means we'll have a K-pop Demon Hunters 2 and 3, besides an animated TV series, and they even thought about a stage musical. Dude, they are fast, right? If something goes right, they expand it to every format. And I think that a lot of people saw the news that we would also get a live action, but that was cancelled, okay? Because the audience didn't like the idea that much. Comment down below, would you like to see a live action? And it wasn't just Ted who talked about this stuff. No, Dan Lin, the head of Netflix, said that the film's success comes from its original and innovative story, and that if they were to make a sequel, they would like to take their time and make sure that future stories are just as good as the original movie, which means it's obvious that they are planning a sequel. And like the co-directors Maggie Kang and Appelhans still haven't signed any new contracts for new projects, but both made clear that they are interested in coming back to that universe and that the creative team already has some ideas for the future. When they asked Kang if she had thought of ideas for a sequel, she answered, "Always. There are always parallel stories and things we think about while making this movie. There are many questions that are unanswered, but not completely. I think there are many niches that can explore." And hold on, because I'll soon show you guys some ideas that can be explored. But first, let's think about this other question. When will the sequel release? As people in production said that they'd like to keep standards high, I predict around 2028. Yeah, I know it's a long time, but let me remind you that the first movie took 7 years to be completed. 3 years is less than half that time, right? I'm sure that most of you guys would like a sequel for next year, but people aren't in a rush to release this sequel. Not at all. In my opinion, there's a chance that the producers make a series about the Huntrix in this meantime, while the main production is being made. This happened to How to Train Your Dragon, which had a series between the first and the second movie, showing Hiccup's day-to-day life with his friends, exploring unknown lands, and discovering new types of dragons. That's why in the second movie of the trilogy, it seems like there are a bunch of new dragons out of nowhere. But for those who watched the animated series, you know where they came from and who they are. I think that K-pop Demon Hunters, they should follow the same steps, and I have some theories of what can be explored in a series. But first, you'll have to subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet, okay? Now, let's get right back at it. Number 1, the past of the Huntrix. The series can show their normal lives, but showing how they met in their young ages and how was their training. We could also see their first days as hunters, learning how to fight and sometimes getting beaten by demons on their first fights. Number 2, Huntrix as kids. We could also have some flashbacks of them as kids, each one with their own life, which would explain, for example, how was Mira's relationship with her family, and how did Zoey's parents ended up getting divorced, and how was that impact from both of their lives. We can also see Rumi as a kid, training since she was little, as we saw in some concept arts that released alongside the movie. Number 3, the bad part of the idol's life. I explained this in other videos, how each of the Saja Boys represent a bad side of the K-pop industry, but we don't see that in the Huntrix because we had no time to get deep into their negative parts of their lives. But in an animated series, that could be possible. Think about it. We could see the Huntrix haters bad-mouthing them on the internet, and how would they deal with that? Oh, Julie, but they have no haters. Dude, I'm sure they do. The movie just didn't show them to us. Another thing they could show is crazy fans. The really creepy ones like we see in the scene with the bodyguards, you know? They could stalk them, or some protective fan that fights on the internet because of them, or something like that. Number 4, the preparation for the comeback. And of course, the series would release before the next movie. So we would see the girls training, creating new songs and choreographies while they deal with other stuff. It would be awesome, wouldn't it? Number 5, Rumi trying to bring Jinu back. The series would need a main focus, which could really well be Rumi researching ways to bring Jinu back and finding out the meaning of many things, like the flower that appeared in her sword after his soul went there. And here's how the series would end. A few days left to the comeback, everything ready for the Huntrix, and Rumi finally finds an answer she needs to bring Jinu back. And then she says something like, "Now I know what to do," or something along those lines. And what are the probable plots for the second movie? I already made a video about that, but today let's follow the idea of this sequel would come after the series, okay? It would start in their comeback show, a way bigger one than the original that we saw in the first movie. But at the end of the show, something would happen to the Honmoon, which would make the 3 Huntrix sort things out in a rush. And although the no Honmoon seems strong, we aren't 100% sure if that's really sealed to the ground. That on its own can be a plot for a sequel, in case another demon shows up and threatens the place. Who knows, the underworld now has another king that seeks a new way to break free from the barrier. In the middle point of the movie, Jinu would come back, and this theory comes from a small detail, which is the flower that is engraved on Rumi's sword. Did you see that? It's a lotus flower, which in Buddhist cultures means rebirth and spiritual purification. And check out how that makes sense. At the end of the movie, Jinu says that Rumi gave back his soul, which now he would give to Rumi. So we can interpret that Jinu will come back as a human, because now his soul was purified. And who knows, he come back with the powers of a hunter, like the Huntrix, complementing the theory that says that 4 hunters are needed to seal the Honmoon once and for all. And that's why a trio was never able to do that so far. Does that make sense for you guys? Like the video if so. And guys, I ended up stumbling into a great video from Maggie Kang. In it, the person recording asks if she will bring Jinu back, and she looks away and down away from the camera, and I found this really hilarious. Maybe it's the kind of question that she can't say anything, so she rather not say anything. By the looks of it, she will keep it a mystery. But the sequel would end with an even more bombastic reveal. Rumi's father showing up, but not for her, only for the audience. Everything would be set in the end. Honmoon stronger, demon sealed, or not, who knows. But then, when the Huntrix and Jinu appear in the ending scene, the camera zooms out and shows Rumi's father watching them from afar. Dude, that would be a perfect hook for the next movie. Then the trilogy would end with Rumi's father coming back, having a more family-focused plot. Maybe shifting between Zoey helping her parents to get along again and Mira improving her relationship with her family. Even if it's not 100%, we can think of many possibilities here. Who knows if Rumi's father will be used by the new Demon King to destroy the Honmoon and create a huge problem for the hunters to fix. And then we would get the cliche betrayal plot. But that makes sense, you know? Am I tripping too much, or does that make sense for you guys too. And did you see that huge campaign is going for the upcoming Oscars? This movie will probably win Animation of the Year. It's hard to find a studio that delivers such an outstanding job. Don't you agree? Hasta la vista!